Hi, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, a place where you can learn about body language and nonverbal communication. Today, we're going to be learning about the bent over behind exposure posture. That's a lot of words, all right? So we can call it the rump presentation, the behind presentation, somebody exposing the bum by bending over, and it's a bent over posture, okay? So hopefully you understand that. If you don't, you will do as I continue talking about it, and I'm sure you've all experienced it in one way or another. So without further ado, if you enjoy what you hear, if you like what you hear, which you definitely should do at some point, because I've got a whole bunch of videos of interesting topics, click like, click subscribe, feel free to leave a comment, and without further ado, let's get on to it. So what we're talking about is a primarily female posture, which is performed by bending forward at the waist, all right, whilst facing away from a person, okay? So they bend at the waist over, presenting the behind, all right? So even if the individual doesn't completely understand the motive, what they're doing is displaying and submitting their best features in plain view of the person whom is behind them, all right? So conscious or subconscious, they desire the sexual attention, okay? It's a very ambiguous message to be sent because sometimes it may be performed indirectly as a means of picking keys or a dropped pen off of the floor, if you know what I mean. If you think about the cliche teacher picking a pen up off of the floor in the classroom, or, picking up their bag from the floor, or so on and so forth. But realistically, as we've talked about in a past video, if you were to take this body language and just take the clothes off of everyone when analysing it, you'll see it's a very clear display of the behind, all right? Furthermore, so the genitals, okay? And it's a submissive posture, all right? It's an offering of the self in a passive female role, okay? A very feminine, submissive position, purely as you don't see men do it so often, or at least from what I'm aware, not really at all, okay? Or at least definitely not in exposure to others, perhaps in their own time, in their own space, okay? Because it's quite a, an off-centered, fragile position to be in. As I said, it is a submissive position, okay? To stand tall and high and shoulders above the rest is a dominant position. To be bending low is a submissive position, okay? What you need to consider as well is that this individual could squat from the knees, taking the bum to the floor as they do the same thing, all right? And to be real with you, that's the better, more efficient and healthier way of picking something up, whether it be keys or a box or something heavier. So in order to make sense that they bent from the waist forward, it's a showcase, okay? It's an overt sexual invitation. It's a non-verbal request to be mounted, all right? It's very primitive when you think of it in that way. All right, it can be used in dance when we look at twerking and women who shake their behinds in whichever manners. It's a sexual performance promoting attention to the sexual regions of the woman, all right? The hips, the cheeks, not the face cheeks, of course, and the genital region as a whole, okay? It's a sign of sexual submission. So this is just to clarify purely, as I'm sure a lot of people have gone through life thinking, was that intentional? It definitely caught my attention because that's the whole purpose of it. It catches your attention, right? But if you're wondering as to why they've done it, well, they're definitely not scared of you, all right? They definitely don't think this person's a creep, purely as they wouldn't do that in front of a person like that, knowing very well how sensitive a position it's to be in. It's a defenseless position, okay? So it's sent out in a means of broadcasting sexuality and submission to the individual whom they're doing it to. It solicits and then potentially rejects the man. So if you consider a woman doing it in front of you, it could be used as a power play to sort of pull you in and then just sort of push you away, generally speaking, purely as it's so ambiguous. But I'm here telling you that as ambiguous as it is, it's definitely intentional, and a woman won't do that without being aware of what's behind her, okay? So that's the bent over position. Not the squat, the bend at the waist. Submissive doggy style, all right? I hope this has been of benefit. I hope you keep an eye out for this. I'm sure you don't even need me to tell you to keep an eye out for this. I'm sure you'll see it naturally because that's the whole intention. If you liked, click like. If you subscribed, thank you very much. If you liked what you heard, click subscribe. I've put out a video a day for a minute now. Peace out.